Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Deed. My name is Ace, let's have some fun. So, just to recap, I need to kill my sister and frame somebody for the murder. That way, I inherit a mansion and get all the wealth. I already talked to everybody in the house and yeah, I think I'm going to kill my sister with a billiard cue and blame the father for it because, well, quite frankly, he's an asshole. There's just one question, and that is, what evidence do I use? I mean, I have his belt, yeah. I could take his belt. Lever toss. Are you sure you want to take the toss? Remember, you can only pick up 2 objects. Yes. Yes, I'm sure. You grab the toss, the texture of which brings back unpleasant memories. You quickly hide it on your person and close the drawer. Okay. And then... okay, I can take the billiard cue, or I can take the shotgun. I think the cue would be not so noisy, but the shotgun would probably be more effective. Let's see. Belonging to your father. Take the cue. Yes, I'm sure. And tuck it inside of your coat where it will be ready for action soon enough. Oh. Again, a bell invites me, this time to dinner, it seems. Dinner is served. Could you come here for a moment, Sophia? Yes, ma'am. Pour me some more wine. Yes. But madam. Oh, what is it, George? Yeah, what is it? I must protest, it has always been my duty to pour the wine at dinner. Oh, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. Nonsense. What does it matter, George? Stop being overly pedantic. But I... don't you think you have had enough, mother? I mean, I could give her another motive, but I want to frame the father, so... Come on, let George pour the wine. Just let him pour the damn wine, would you? It's his job. You stay out of it, boy. If your mother wants the girl to pour the damn wine, then the girl will pour the damn wine. Of course, sir. My apologies. An interfering little rat, isn't he, Daddy? Yes, he is. Why can't you ever keep your mouth shut, boy? Let's give him... Let's be really bad here. Let's give him a motive and... I won't lose my temper. Now, don't lose your temper, father. Careful, father, there's no need to make a scene at dinner. I'll show you a scene, get over here! Malcolm, please, let's not permit this behavior to ruin dinner. Yes, I suppose you're right. You can count your lucky stars, boy. Sophia, could you come here, please? Yes, Miss Jennifer. I just wanted to say that was the loveliest meal I've ever tasted. I don't know how you do it, you cunning pixie. You're too kind, miss. Of course I will have tea and cakes for you in the drawing room as usual after dinner. Is she so good to me, you sweet thing? So very, very good to me. Wow, oh, she's a lesbian. Would you two stop flirting with each other? I can frame... Ah. No, I'm still going with the father. None for me. I wouldn't mind some of your hotcakes. No. No, none for me. I just pretend I didn't see it. I won't have any, thank you. Well, you weren't offered any, so there. Please, Jennifer, let's all try and be civil. God, I'm the outcast. Anyway, let's not forget why we are here today. To celebrate your father's birthday, such a very important occasion for us all. You are so dear to us, Malcolm. Happy birthday, Daddy. Indeed, happy birthday, Father. Let's hope it will be one to remember. Oh, it will. Now is the time to quickly plant any items of evidence you have. To do so, simply enter the desired room and select the item in your inventory. When you are ready, enter the drawing room to do the deed. Okay. I need to spin a story here. I have his lever toss. He used to beat people with it. Especially his kids. Probably not only his son. So if I leave the lever toss in her room. I mean, it's a little far-fetched, but let's see. Toss. He never even repeated the old cliche, "This hurts me more than it hurts you." Do you want to plant this item of evidence in this room? Yes. Your sister's wardrobe is the ideal location to plant some evidence. The police will definitely search this room thoroughly. Maybe it's too thick, but I hope this works. And then, are you sure you want to enter the drawing room? Once inside, there is no turning back. Yes. You see Jennifer staring out of the window ahead of you, lost in one of her strange moods. She has noticed you enter the drawing room. Now is the time! I'm going to kill her. Okay. Choose the murder weapon. Q. The first time you bring the heavier end of the pool cue down upon the back of her skull, she stumbles forward a bit dazed. You bring it down again and she drops to her knees. Take several more whacks. Oh, that's brutal. Before she's finally lying motionless in a pool of her own blood, and you've made plenty of noise in the process. You drop the pool cue on the ground and curse yourself for choosing such a clumsy weapon. You need to get out of this room fast. Uh-oh. 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Where do I go? Where do I go? Where do I? Fuck! My room! It sounds like my deed has been discovered. Oh, holy fuck. Thank God I found the run button. Oh. Okay, good evening everyone. I am Chief Inspector Winston Lewis. I understand that this is a difficult time for your family. You're damn right it is. I want to know what you're doing wasting my time here while my daughter's killer is still out there. Well, Mr. Bruce, we have found no evidence of forced entry and nobody was seen entering or leaving the house. Would seem entirely possible then that the killer is in this room. What? No! That seems highly unlikely, Inspector. Oh, he's playing his cards. Perhaps it is. However, in order to follow protocol, I will have to interview each of you in turn. Mrs. Bruce, would you like to meet me in the library first? I suppose so. And then the interview. Now it's my turn. Thank you for joining me in here, Mr. Bruce. I'm sure this won't take long. Before we begin, I will need to search your person. Best to get these formalities out of the way. Is this really necessary? I'm afraid so. Turn around, please. Now that's out of the way, let's move on to the interview. Ooh, an interview! As you know, I have already spoken to everyone else who was present in the house at the time of your sister's death. We have also now completed our initial search of the house, but we'll get to that later. Let's start from the beginning, shall we? First of all, we will run through all of your activities since your arrival. The maid says that you and the butler arrived shortly after 7 o'clock and she greeted you at the door. She told me that you refused to give her your coat and she found that quite peculiar. I wasn't sure how long I would be staying. I failed to see how this is relevant. Didn't want to get cold. The coat was soaking wet, so I wasn't sure how long I would be staying. I thought I might have to leave soon. In this weather, Mr. Bruce, that seems quite unlikely. The maid says that you made a rather inappropriate remark of a sexual nature towards her. This leads me to question your character, I'm afraid. It was only intended as a harmless joke. Or? Of course I did. Have you seen the maid? Of course I did. Have you seen the maid? Have you seen it? Absolutely. Wouldn't you have done the same? She's a pretty little thing after all. No, I can't say I would have. Later you went to speak to the maid again, which is curious. Why did you decide to visit the kitchen? To make sure my family was treating her well. I had some concerns about the way she was being treated. My family can be hard on the new staff sometimes. That seems like a good reason. I understand the two of you spoke about your father and his temper. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. Yes, I wanted to be sure he wasn't abusing her. Yeah, let's do this. My father has a vicious temper. I wanted to make sure he wasn't making her life miserable. I see. Has he always had a temper? Yes, always. Later on, you had a conversation with your mother Gloria in the parlor. She told me that you were unusually cordial, something about wanting to apologize and make amends. I just wanted to avoid another argument. That was a private I was being sincere. Yes, I wanted to clear the air between myself and my family. I see. Do you think it is slightly suspicious that you suddenly wanted to reconcile after all this time? No, I don't think so. Very well then. She says you spoke briefly about your sister. Apparently you seemed quite concerned about her well-being. We were worried my sister might attempt suicide. I wasn't especially concerned. I'm more worried about my mother's mental state. Probably the dad couldn't take it anymore and... No, I was more worried about my mother's mental state. Really, I was more concerned about my mother. I'm sure that dealing with my sister for so many years has taken its toll on her. Your mother was behaving unusually then. She was not herself. I see. You went to see your father in the library. I understand your conversation became quite heated. Of course it did. My father is an irritating man. Actually, I thought the conversation was civil. No, my father has always had a temper. Very short fuse. Many of our conversations go that way. Would you say he has a violent temper? Absolutely. I see, that's good to know. You discussed the prospect of your moving back to Dunshale. You said you would only move back if your sister was placed into psychiatric care. Yes, I wanted her gone. I never suggested for her own well-being. I had her own best interests at heart. She belonged in care. You may be right, Mr. Bruce, however, you seem to be the only one who felt that way. More importantly, I understand you revealed to your father that you had discovered something about his will. Would you care to elaborate on that for me? Yes, we discussed my disinheritance. I had found out that he intended to disinherit me. Does that mean your sister would have received everything? Oh, fuck. Now this gives me a motive. Do you realize this gives you a motive? Yes, I do. Perhaps it does, but it didn't kill her. I see. Let's discuss your conversation with the butler. You spoke about your mother's recent moods, yes? He seemed very worried about her. Yes, my mother was having a very hard time. I should have framed the mother, really. Dealing with my sister's condition, it sounded like she had been pushed to breaking point. Did you speak to your sister before dinner? No, I did not. No. No, I didn't see Jennifer until dinner. Very well then, let's move on to the events that took place during dinner. I understand there was an argument involving the butler. You felt he was being treated unfairly. Always treat the servants poorly is trying to stir things up. Yes, someone has to stand up for the servants around here. My family treats them like dirt. Indeed, it was good of you to do so, Mr. Bruce. I gathered that your father rather lost his temper at one point. Just the usual, he always loses his temper. Oh, just the usual. That was nothing out of the ordinary. Your father often loses his temper at dinner. My father loses his temper no matter where he is. I see. Now I need to ascertain your location. Where were you when you heard the maid scream? Upstairs. In my old bedroom. I was in the guest bedroom. I see. Thank you. As I said earlier, we have completed our initial search of the property. We found this leather toss while searching your sister's room. Do you know who it belongs to? Yes, it belonged to my father. Interesting that it should be kept in your sister's room. Was your father ever violent towards your sister? Yes! Let's just say he was never one to spare the strap. Oh, that's good, that's good, that's good. I see. I'm curious about the murder weapon. Your sister was beaten to death with a billiards cue which belonged to your father. It was kept in the wine cellar and you must have passed through there when you went to the servants' quarters. No, fuck! The butler saw me. Ah, damn it. It is all very interesting. I will be completely honest with you now, Mr. Bruce. Frankly, your behavior leading up to your sister's death concerns me a great deal. However, the evidence against your father seems very compelling indeed. I think I will also be taking another look at the evidence surrounding your mother. Given the weapon that was used, obviously suicide is not a realistic possibility. Now, as for what happens next, I am placing you under arrest on suspicion of the murder of your sister. I will be arresting your father shortly, and I will need to be speaking to your mother again. Oh, damn it. I didn't make it. You had succeeded in your plan to draw attention towards your father, which had led to his arrest. However, you had also drawn plenty of attention to yourself, and the evidence against you was overwhelming. When the police discovered your motive, that was the final nail in your coffin. At the trial, it did not take very long for the jury to return a guilty verdict. You were given a life sentence for the murder of your sister and would be spending the rest of your life sleeping behind bars. In your dank little cell, there was nowhere to hide or to escape from the nightmares when they came. The deed itself had taken possession of your soul, and perhaps this was her final revenge. Oh, damn it. I mean, okay, he murdered his sister. It's only fair that he lands in jail, but the dad? Wow. This is one dysfunctional family. Okay, I made one run. I think I'm gonna stop right here. Let me know what you think about the game. Maybe you can fare better than I did. And as always, I hope you enjoyed my company as much as I enjoyed yours. And of course, I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day.